I put out a job 2 weeks ago for something in Aberdeenshire. I only put it up for 12 hours. I got 300 applications in Aberdeenshire.
People are struggling to get jobs in the UK as carers or as senior carers. What do you think is the reason?
Companies in the UK, majority of them are British. They don't know about overseas immigration. They
That's
don't know
it.
about overseas things.
Do you think somebody being overly qualified could also cause a rejection?
Seeing a lot of people with yahoo.com and Gmail references, you're not going to get selected if your references are not from a legit company. I've opened a CV and I've got a big picture. I'm like, whoa, I don't need to see this.
Said it before. Hey, stop that.
Hi. So guys, today I have here someone special. I have here a recruiter here, the famous Sophia from Hasha and Sophia YouTube channel. Today we're going to ask her all our burning questions. She's going to tell us the truth about this whole senior carer jobs and healthcare assistant jobs, the truth about the reality on the ground. Welcome, Sophia.
Thank you for having me on your channel, Nanala. I'm really privileged to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for making it. I'm just going to ask you a few questions. I want people to know like the reality on the ground, what is really happening. I know that you're the best person to share this since you're a recruiter yourself. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions, okay?
Go ahead, put me under the spotlight. Go on then, Nanala. How you want to?
First of all, your name and just something brief about yourself.
So my name is Sophia. I'm born in England, so I was from Birmingham. That's what I got. I think it's a lovely accent. I think Harsha don't like it very much, but I've got a British typical Brummie accent. I worked in England in health and social care since I was 16 years old, so since I left school, so that's 22 years. I worked with everything from being a play worker, volunteering, to setting up businesses in care homes, doing recruitment, auditing. I've done absolutely anything and everything you can think of. Wow. I used to have 2 or 3 jobs just because I love to work. I love money. Who doesn't love money? While I was getting older and had my children, I realised, you know what? We want to set up our own business. We need to set up because we can help people with all this knowledge that me and Harsha have got. The co-founder of Tomorrow's Healthcare, that's our business, is Harsha. So me and Harsha set it up. Between us, we've got recruitment, we're qualified recruiters, we're in the health and social care industry for ages, auditing, compliance and IT. So we've got everything that we need between 2 of us. So it just makes sense to do this. People need our help. And we found a gap in the market, which is there's no one really helping international people that are either coming here and not getting breakout like into jobs, or people from overseas which we are tapping into. So we found that gap and we thought we're going to fill that gap and try and help. So that's a bit about us.
So roughly how long have you been doing like recruitment?
Recruitment, I've done it I'm a qualified HR manager by trade. I qualified about 6 years ago. I've been doing recruitment for probably about 10 years. I was a care manager. I was recruiting lots of staff. So I got in that way. But there's a lot more to it, so I wanted to do a degree to see why I should recruit these people, how not to recruit them. I learned everything I need to. Then I worked for a training and recruitment company in fostering, became a trainer as well. So it's just over time. And then when I left and I had my children, I just got predominantly into just recruitment now. It's just too much doing everything, so we've nailed it down to just training and recruitment. So over 10 years in recruitment, in HR recruitment and normal recruitment that we do.
With overseas recruitment or recruitment of international care staff, how long have you been doing that?
Not long actually, because I've always said it and I'm still saying to this day, it's not easy. It is not easy to recruit overseas. It was a lot easier through pre-pandemic. So I set up the business after the pandemic, during the pandemic, and it's been hard for people. So it's not as easy. Me and Harsha got the right skills and knowledge on a bit of immigration and recruitment to speak to companies, and this is what is giving us that edge, because we are explaining what it's about. Companies in the UK, majority of them are British. They don't know about overseas immigration. They don't know about overseas things.
I saw this new living carer opportunity you're talking about, and I know that within a short while you have several applications.
Like, we knew that there's 3 top jobs. I've got it on a video on it. The 3 top jobs that you would potentially get a job from overseas is home care, living carer and nursing. Home care, I don't think you would get much because it's a driving one. If you can't prove that you are going to get a car in the UK straight away, they're not going to miss that. Yeah. Nursing, people will do it here. At the end of it, they will do it here, and it's a high turnover. But living care is very difficult. So I said, me and Harsha discussed it. Harsha goes, I'm going to hit every single living carer job out there. He contacted over 150 in the whole of the UK, and he kept getting knocked back. It never stopped because someone's going to say yes, and one major company said yes, but they're giving us 2. There are some ignorant people saying, "Oh, just two." You don't understand.
Have
It's
no
very
idea.
expensive.
Yeah.
Two is major. This company is taking a massive risk. They're putting in probably 35 to 40 grand for your wages because they are desperate. They don't want to lose this contract. And this client is affiliated with the NHS. If they lose it, they can give it back to the NHS. But in the long term, this client, this package is too good for them. But it's very, very hard. They rather pay a lot of money to bring somebody over here and try it. So they're risking it with us guys. So it's our neck on the lines to find them people. I think it was last Sunday I released it, and I've got until next Sunday. The client told me he doesn't want me to give him any applications until after the 10th. So I've got a few days to sort it out. In 5 days, I think it is, I've got probably 1,800 applications just for them two jobs. That's not including Instagram, not including LinkedIn, not including private messages. I have all of the ones that have contacted me not through the right channels and not listened, I have ignored. So if I had to add all them, it would have been over 2,500 at this moment, and I'm still counting. So I've said to you now, Tex, I have to find some kind of structure to sort through them all because I have to go through them all. I'm recruiting in Aberdeenshire. I've got clients, I've got training, we've got businesses set up, so we are constantly working 24 hours. So when people are saying, you haven't looked at my CV, I can't. I've got criteria, and this is what other recruiters are feeling as well. So when you're sending them CVs and they're getting thousands because they're bigger than us, we're only a small new company. You got to imagine what they're going through. They might be deleting now because you're not doing it right. You need to catch the recruiter within the first 5 seconds of your CV or your covering letter. Then you would have my attention. If you're not going to catch my attention, it will not go far.
So do you have contracts with NHS Trust as well, or not yet?
Yes, we do actually. We have Harsha, I'm going to say Harsha, fair play to the guy. He's new to health and social care, but he's a recruiter. He's qualified as a proper recruiter. He's got membership. He's secured 2 in England. We've got none in Scotland. It's all England. He's secured 2 NHS trusts because you have to be separate. And he's going through another 23 trusts. And then we're going to hit the NHS properly because the NHS proper, you have to be trading for a certain amount of years and you've got a lot of compliance. It's very, very strict. So we need to meet that compliance. So we need to show them evidence of our company at the moment to do the NHS. So that is 100% on the books. So hopefully by the end of the year, we should have about 30 NHS companies.
Tell me, from a recruiter's point of view, people are struggling to get jobs in the UK as carers or as senior carers. I know we say we go on YouTube and then we say that there is the opportunity, but people are really, really struggling. What do you think is the reason? You have got many people in the UK, students, international students here, that are in the UK with a valid work visa or a dependent visa that we can give a job to. I put out a job 2 weeks ago for something in Aberdeenshire. I only put it up for 12 hours. I got 300 applications in Aberdeenshire, one of the quietest places in the UK. And I'm still going through the applications. So I don't need to recruit overseas when I got people sitting here and they're fantastic workers and I can sit with them. And it doesn't cost me much now to have someone in Aberdeenshire, whereas it would cost me more of that risk. So I don't need to recruit overseas. And a lot of my clients don't need it either because we can give them stuff here. So that's why the law in the UK is put the job advert out internally. So if you've got a care worker in your company, you put the job out internally and say, do you want to apply? If somebody comes forward with it, you have to interview them. If they are the right fit, they will get the job. So I don't even know why that's on the list now. I don't get it. You're saying that obviously an employer is going to give the chances to those that are already in the UK because it's easier and it's cheaper to employ somebody already in the UK. Absolutely. If you're a barber or from overseas, like a hairstylist, and you walk up and think, the care worker job going in England, I'm going to apply for it with no experience, and you got someone there that's got 10 years nursing experience or living care experience abroad, and they got some qualification and they know what they're talking about, I'm not going to give it to the barber. I'm going to give it to the person that's got the experience. So if we ever did look abroad, well, we are looking abroad, like I've got a living carer job. If someone come to me with no experience, I'm not going to take them because I can't justify. It's not just about getting the job. You can get the job, but you need to explain to get the visa, because with the visa, they need to see that you meet the job description of the 6145. So if you're saying that, you got to bathe and wash and you're a hairstylist, they're going to say, how did you give this job to them? Why? Is it a fraudulent job? Are they your friends? You have to justify why you've given this job to that person.
Your references also need to make sense. Seeing a lot of people with yahoo.com and Gmail references, you're not going to get selected if your references are not from a legit company. You have to have them from a legit company. By saying that you are looking after your grandparents is not going to be sufficient enough. There's thousands of people applying. Everybody can say that. In the UK at the moment, I'm working with quite a few clients. They're all getting fed up at the moment because everybody's coming with the same story. I've done some free training online. I've looked after my grandma back home. I've worked volunteer. They're all saying the same story, and they're going to be getting fed up with the same story. They all ask me what is going on, so I have to explain to them. So now, as soon as somebody comes out with the same story, they decline them straight away. So people that are lying, my companies are not doing it no more. And some of them have even said they've got UK exposure. So their question now is, oh, if you got UK exposure, have you got a DBS or PVG? No. If you say no, you are illegally working in the UK. So they know you're lying. Either you're lying or you illegally worked. So they're not going to give you the job as well. So you need to stop lying about your experience. Clients all over the UK are clocking on to the fact that you want to come to the UK, and that's why a lot of you are not receiving responses. They are going for real people, and you can tell which one a real person is because when we ask certain questions like safeguarding, equality and diversity principles, they would answer it properly, and that's the difference.
Wow. So this means that having a good CV and then volunteering and doing care certificate courses might not be enough.
It's because, you know what it is? It's because there's a few people that are abusing the system. That's why it's such a shame, because you can't work out the real ones. So there might be a genuine person there that's done the qualifications, that is actually looking after someone, you know, done everything. But there's some people that are using it as an excuse, and you can tell they haven't, that people that are recruiting now know it's a story. So who's the real one and who isn't? So they're now going for people with more hands-on experience that you can prove it. You have to prove it with a legit company. So things are changing now out there in the fact that you can't lie. Don't lie on your CV to the standards that everybody's saying it. That's the thing. Get some volunteer experience. Get some charity work experience. Sort out your CV. Learn about the UK education system. Learn about CQC. Learn about Care Inspectorate. Learn about the SSSC. Learn about the processes, because how else are you going to get exposure? But some people are abusing it. That's the difference now. When you're recruiting and you're doing 5 or 6 applications a day and 4 out of 5 of them have the same story, you're just thinking, oh, not again.
So you as a recruiter, I know you've seen several CVs. What exactly do you look out for when you see a CV?
I don't need a picture of you, a really big picture of you, because I'm not going to be dating you. I don't care how you look. Yeah, don't tell me that you're single. You know, tell me you're single or you're married and this is my passport number, this is my children's birth certificates. I don't care about that. We're not employing your whole family. You're not going to get a job. Trust me, I've seen some. I've opened a CV and I've got a big picture. I'm like, wow, I don't need to see this. Like, I don't need to see people. Yeah, we go off equality and diversity. We go off the person. Your name to me, I don't even remember the name, because we go off the experience. So what I look at is, I don't look at your age. You don't need to put your date of birth on there. You don't need to put your nationality on there, but you do need to put if you can reside to work in the UK. Driving license, if you can drive, and you are definitely going to get a car in the UK if you are, put that down. So never put your date of birth, because we don't go on that. We're not allowed to discriminate. Don't go on your nationality. We can't discriminate of your race. Don't put down you're married and stuff. We don't care. Profile pictures, we don't need it. You're taking up 2 pages already.
Exactly.
Get rid of all that. Now, the thing that people are doing a lot, I've noticed, they're putting experience down, but when we're doing the interview with them, they're talking about something else. I'm like, well, that's not on your CV. Oh, I haven't updated. Update your CV. You need to update until today's date. So for example, I'm working at Smartest Healthcare. My CV needs to state I'm at Smartest Healthcare from 2019 to present. Like, if you don't update your CV, that just shows you're not bothered. We don't like that. We can scrutinize it to the max now. If it's a certain job, and I say this in my videos, meet the job spec. Do not just send a random IT or non-health and social care CV to me. Match the job spec. If I said to you, we need living carers, we need people that got dementia exposure, we need this and that.
You should state that in the CV.
Absolutely, because you're not meeting the criteria. But I don't need to give you an interview. I would only give interviews to people that meet the criteria. Covering letters are brilliant. Do not just send a CV, because it doesn't give me much. A covering letter saying, you know, to whom it may concern, I saw your job advertised, posted for a living carer, and I'm really interested in it, and I feel like I will be a good candidate for your job because I meet X, Y, and Z. Don't say you've looked at their website and you haven't really, because that's been caught out. I've looked at your fantastic website and you recruit nurses. I'm like, I've never recruited nurses. I don't know. that puts a backup. Don't lie about it. I know you're applying for 100 jobs. I totally get it. I've done it myself, 100 jobs. But I meet every single one of them. I've got about 50 CVs, and I make a table. So if I'm applying for a job, say NHS job, I know which CV I sent for which job. Because when they're going to interview you, I'll be like, okay, I need to make sure I talk about the right thing. It's okay to change your CV around. One size does not fit all, guys.
I always say this: don't use the same CV to apply
Oh.
for all the jobs. Always tailor your CV to meet the requirements of that particular job that you're applying for.
You don't need to lie about it. What you do is, like, in one job, you're not going to be just doing one job. You never do. You do loads of stuff. So
Lots of stuff.
if I'm a care manager, yeah, and I'm applying for a training job, as a care manager, I've done a lot of training stuff. So I would say I'm a care manager, but I did this with training. I trained people in health and social care. I trained them with this. I would make it more versatile and more showing my training needs. That's what I do. I'm still not lying because I'm still a care manager.
Yeah.
So put it down to the job spec. Now, by law, technically, if you meet the mandatory requirements of the job spec, tick, 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 we have to give you an interview by law. But if you meet the mandatory and if you've got it, brilliant, that's a bonus. If you do that, you are more likely to get it because you showed a bit of personality, and you need to make sure the recruiter feels that you're the only one that they've applied for. I'm not applying for any other job. It's just you. I want you, but don't be desperate. There's a fine line. Don't beg me for a job because I'm there everybody begs me for a job. We don't want that. Thousands of applications. I've seen one or two that was like, I really wish I could have that person, but I couldn't because they didn't meet the criteria. But they wrote their CV and their covering letter brilliantly, and I've even replied back to them personally saying, "Brilliant CV, brilliant covering letter. Keep doing that because you will get it." Wow. So I do respond back. Normally people don't do that.
How much does it cost an employer to bring somebody from outside the UK? Yeah, how much?
You know what? A lot of money. You think that is not a lot, but it's a lot for a company because they're taking that risk if somebody doesn't do the job. Because the health and social care visa, you can change employers. You don't need to stay in that job. You can change it. In regards to the cost, they are paying for stuff like the license application fee. They need to pay for compliance fee. You need to show money and proof. If you can't show it, they might have to show it for you. They've got citizen or sponsorship visa to pay for. They could be paying in region of minimum £1,400 to £25,000 just for one application, depending. Then they've got the lawyer fees. You have to have a lawyer. This company that we've got has got our fees as well. So they're going to pay us a percentage if the job gets done. They're paying thousands of pounds out. This is why my company is already apprehensive and I need to find the right person. But it is a risk. Do people want to pay it? Not really. But if they're desperate for it and they've got the money, they may try it.
So can people also offer to settle those costs just so they could get a job? Because I've had people ask questions like, okay, I can pay for my own COS, I can pay for my own flights, my own visa, I can pay for everything else. I just need the job.
No, there's certain things by law the company has to pay for. They have to pay for their own license. They have to pay for their own citizen or sponsorship. But flights and visa, you can do. Now, if the company might say yes, if the company says, yeah, that's fine. But by law, the employer has to pay their own fees. They have to pay a surcharge license fee of £1,000 a year per applicant as well. There's more behind the scenes stuff that they have to pay that you guys don't know about, but you can't pay by law. They have to pay it. And then even if they've been offered a job, they have to be careful because with the health and social care visa, if you come and you want to bring your dependent and your 3 kids, they don't need to pay for your whole family, but they might lose you because of that. So it's very complicated. So employers are only going for certain people because
they might lose you. I don't get that part.
So do you not saying that now you came to the UK and you applied for a job, we would recruit you only. But you saying I need to bring my dependents because the visa says I can bring my dependents for free and this and that. The employer might say, okay, you need to pay for all that yourself. That's got nothing to do with us. But you might say, I can't afford it, but you want me. So you pay for my dependents. That's happened as well. You pay for my dependents so I can come for you. And employers might pull out saying, that's too much money.
That's too much.
So you need to ensure you've got money for your own people as well. Yeah, the health surcharge is free, but cost of living, Nina can back me up, is really high.
If your job is in the health and social care field, you're not supposed to pay health surcharge.
No, you're not meant to pay health surcharge only if your certificate of sponsor states it's a health and social care visa. That's why they have lawyers involved. If you've got a certificate of sponsorship and it's a care job and it doesn't state it's a health and social care visa where a lot of people have gone wrong, you have to pay the health surcharge. So if your cost does not state it, you would have to pay it.
So that will depend on the employer applying for the right
CO. Yeah, if they do it wrong. If they do it wrong, which has happened, and that's why a lot of people it's been delayed, they would have to pay it.
Yeah.
That's why they need to get a legal team. It's too complicated. A legal team needs to sort it out to ensure that they get the right one. But yeah, how you won't pay a health surcharge, but they've got licensing fees to pay, a lot of fees to pay behind the scenes, which they have to, and they need to meet the A rating license. It's very complicated behind the scenes, but smaller companies might get put off, but larger companies may not because they got more money.
And they are familiar with the process. A lot of the
Yeah.
big companies are familiar with the process. So
That's
that could also be another reason why people are struggling to get jobs, because a lot of the companies, although they may be desperate, they may be in need of care workers, they are not familiar with the process.
No, it's very hard. I'm not going to lie. I can't do it myself. It has to be a legal representative. It's just too complicated because of all the terms and conditions, because they have to be on a license of A rating to meet the criteria. If you have an A rating cost, you can come. If you got a B rating, if that company's B rating, you can't get it. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes that happens. And that's why I think delays a lot of processes, or employers pull out thinking, you know what, it's not worth the time. It's just not worth it. And why they are offering these jobs to you guys overseas, they're not stopped looking in the UK. They're still looking in the UK, because if they got someone in the UK, they're going to take that person. So they'll carry on. So they've got the best of both worlds. This is why some people say a company says you can have certificate of sponsorship, but when we apply for it, they say we don't offer it. It's because they found someone, but they can. Any health and social care company can do it at this moment. Anybody, volunteers, charities, anybody's allowed to apply for it. But that doesn't mean they have to apply for it. That's the difference.
So let's say with this living carer job vacancy that you put out, let's say the 2 weeks is up and then some CVs get shortlisted. And how long do you think it will take for the people to finally get here?
Well, we've aimed for 4 to 6 weeks. That's a smooth sailing one. So when we shortlisted, we have to go through a 4-stage process. So first one is applications. Second one is competency test. I'm going to send you out competency tests to the ones that I'm happy with. You will do them competency tests. If you're happy, you'll have an interview with Smartest Healthcare first of all, and we are going to scrutinise the crap out of you. We have to. With them people, we'll have to put that and the competency test together and send it to our client. The client looks at it. If they think that you are good enough, they will be the final one to interview you. Their interview will be a lot more tougher because they know the client, and they might do more tests with you. I don't know. They haven't told me what they're going to do because they don't want me to give you guys the heads up on it. So they just said, we're going to do the last one. If they're happy with it, then they will offer you the job. From there, now you need to make sure you got a passport and everything's plain sailing. Visa applicants need to be, if it goes fast track, it says 3 weeks, but from what I can see, it's taking longer.
Do you think somebody being overly qualified could also cause a rejection?
Yes, for sure. I've been rejected so many times because I'm overqualified. That's why you have to dumb down your CV, dumb it down, but not too much that you don't get the job. Now, for example, I tell you what, a doctor is not going to get a job as a senior care worker. Why? But a doctor is going to come to the UK and get a doctorate and go into the NHS. We know for a fact you're not going to stay in that job, so you're not going to get it. You're not there for a senior care worker, you're too high for it. It's just not going to happen. If you're in the UK and you want to do it for a few months, that's fine, but overseas, so you will get rejected because you're overqualified, and recruiters know you're not going to stay in it for the long term. Even if you beg them and say, don't say yes, I will, you won't. I'm not going to, if I was to give a job as a care worker, I'm not going to stay.
Yeah, they won't spend all this money on you just for you to come and work for only 6 months.
That's and go. They know you're going to go. This is the thing. People think that recruiters are not clued on. We are qualified to the max to see what's going on. We ask certain questions. We look at body language. So these are the things. And we know we know the trends, guys. We know what people are going to use. You think you might be the only doctor coming through or the only nurse. We get thousands. No, we'll do the job. And it has been trialed before. People do go, and we don't blame them. Do you want a job for like £10, 10 pence an hour, or do you want a job for like £30, £40 an hour? Like, come on.
Wow. So your final words, anything you want to say to people that are desperately looking for jobs, care
I
jobs?
just think 100%, there's loads I can say. That's what I got a whole channel on it. Like, there's so much I can say about it. But one thing is,
I'll leave your channel, a screenshot of it in the video and then in the description as well. So you guys should head over to Hasha and Sophia's channel.
Please, because you know what? If you want real inside tips, because it's really working for people, guys, don't beg for the job. Don't look desperate. We don't like it. We just don't like it. Don't put on a sub story. We don't want that. We want real people, real qualifications, real passion. That is what comes across. If you don't show your passion, we can tell. We can tell a lot of stuff. So being it for the right reasons, I'm going to try my best to help nurses. I'm going to try my best to help doctors. I'm still very small, but we're going to look into everything we can over the next few coming years, and we're going to try and get as many allied health professions over here. That is our business model. And people like Nanal and Tochi, people that are trying to, give real information, you need to watch the right channels, get the right ones, and stop listening to fake dreams. Please listen to real people in the jobs. That's all I'm saying.
You said it all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
It was a privilege having you in the channel.
No, thank you very much, guys. I hope you learned a bit. I don't want to go over too much because people are going to get bored.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.